Welcome to the Midlife Rider Project. This is a place for riders who have lived a little and learned a lot. A place for honest reflection, lived experience, and listening for the wisdom that emerges as we ride through this second season of life. There's something that happens to me when I walk into the barn. It's before I do anything, before I even see my horse. My shoulders drop away from my ears a little. My breathing changes. My body shifts into a different mode that it's in for the rest of the day. And I don't think that's accidental. We live in a world that's loud and goes very fast and includes a lot that's almost entirely virtual. Most days, our systems are taking in far more than they were ever designed to. Screens, news, notifications, a steady stream of things that all feel urgent and somehow unfinished. It can feel like the world is on fire in an ongoing way. That's part of why being with horses feels so different than a lot of the rest of our lives. Horses are completely analog. They exist in real time, in real space. Working with them carries real weight and real consequences. When you're with a horse, you can't scroll past a moment. You can't multitask or be in five places at once. You need to be present in the moment and settled. And it's not just about feeling calm, it's about regulation. Your breath coming back into some kind of normal rhythm and your attention narrowing in a good way so that you can actually pay attention to the now. Your nervous system realizing that it doesn't have to stay on high alert right now. You can't talk yourself into those things. It all happens because you're standing next to a living being who is fully present by virtue of what they are and what they do. Another thing horses offer us, and this matters more in midlife than we often realize, is relief from outside expectation. So often we're asked to explain or justify ourselves, to justify our choices, and to keep up appearances. Horses don't do that. You can show up tired or distracted, very quiet, in your sweats or your nicest riding gear. They don't want to know who or what you're supposed to be that day. They're there for the version of you who actually showed up. That kind of full and unconditional acceptance is grounding in a way that's hard to describe until you've felt it. Over time, this feeling becomes a kind of safety for us, one that changes how we show up with them. This goes both ways since horses are sensitive beings. They notice how we are too. Are we breathing normally, holding tension, or have the energy of a top that's spinning much too fast? When we're more regulated, they feel it. They notice when we feel grounded. Being aware of that matters because this relationship isn't just about comfort. Like all relationships, it moves in both directions. One of the things I appreciate most about horses is how little they demand of us compared to the rest of the world. They don't care what kind of day we've had. They don't care what we're wearing. They don't care who we are out in the world. That absence of expectation is incredibly freeing, especially in midlife. Because by this stage of life, many of us are tired of explaining ourselves, tired of being measured by some yardstick we don't even understand. tired of keeping up. Not that we even know what it means anyway. With horses, we don't have to do any of that. We don't have to be impressive, polished, or productive. Present will do just fine. When you stay with horses long enough, when you love them across seasons and times of change, the relationship becomes a place where you can take a break. It feels familiar and honest when the rest of the world usually doesn't. There's research now that talks about how being around horses affects our nervous system, heart rate, breathing, stress levels, emotional regulation. And all of that's interesting, but most of us who share our lives with horses did not need a study to tell us this. We figured that out a long time ago. And these benefits aren't limited to riding. Not everyone rides. Not everyone owns a horse. Some people connect through groundwork or through therapy programs, and others through simply being near horses. The benefit isn't about what you do with horses, it's about being in relationship with a living being that exists fully in the present. It's important to say this too. This isn't about asking horses to carry our emotional baggage. Fixing us is not the goal, but relationship has effects. Midlife gives us the wisdom to notice all of this because we're more aware of what sustains us, resets us, and what feels real. And horses have a way of making those things very clear. Before you leave the barn today, I'll invite you to try this. Notice your body today, how it feels, where you're holding tension, what feels good or bad. Then notice if anything feels better when you leave than it did when you arrived. And if you've had moments where being with horses changed how you felt, I would love to hear about those. Our stories matter. You never know who you'll inspire with yours. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this episode resonated, I hope you'll join me again next week as we continue riding through this season together. Until then, take good care of yourself and your horse.